How are we going to do these tense negotiation when our best negotiator, Ben, is not here? Yeah.
Yep.
Freaking underselling how long this thing was. This thing was huge. Nasty. Oh. Deep cut. Not a saving throw, just a straight check. Poppy. Is this a magical effect or anything? Okay. Copy. Let's go.
Damn.
I got words, y'all. I got words coming out.
I went from a 20 to
alright.
it rolled on to a 2.
I thought I was gonna win with my 19.
Foundry like to give you those like heartbeat moments with them dice rolls.
Right?
Does
I
he
love
get
judging
an
by the rolls on
advantage
screen here.
I know, right? Like,
on
Not.
Does he get advantage on checks, or is that just saves?
Athros? I think it's.
He gets advantage on something, or is it just combat related?
It might be cover. It might be cover. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't, because that's why I asked if this was magically related. But I think this is literally just like more of a body condition initiative kind of thing. So I don't think in this circumstance it would matter.
A
Judging
defrosting
by
phase?
the screen
Yeah.
here,
What Nick?
Ono's gonna wake me up, and then the rest of the party will be like a week behind us.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't count me being first as a good thing. That's.
Did I say it was a good thing? I just said you're gonna wake me up.
Ono has opinions first. First and foremost.
Ono's got some things to get off his chest when no one else can hear him.
Consciousness. You feel like you open your eyes, you try to, and it takes you a little while as they almost feel like they're crusted over from something very cold. As you open them, you're met with a surprising sheet of essentially piercing white. You hear the sound of wind whistling. You blink your eyes a couple of times, and you try to look around. Your neck being free for movement, but you try to move some of your limbs, and you find you don't feel them right now. You feel your heartbeat. You feel like the muscles between your head and your torso, but anything with your legs and your arms, it almost feels like they're not there. You don't even register, like, with your nerves that you even have them. It's a really weird sensation. You look around the area, your vision slowly beginning to come back to you, and you see a few things. You see a few silhouettes as you look to your left and right. You're not sure if it's your party, or if it's a stone or a set of stones, or if it's, the serpent. It's all nothing more than a dark haze. As you look forward, your neck extending to where it rests naturally, you see another silhouette a little bit farther out, maybe 15 feet or so. Again, it feels like a black or dark gray blur, or it looks like a dark blur. It doesn't really feel like one. You can't feel it. You're too far away. As you take a moment and you try to catch your breath, something that you really didn't feel like you had to worry about when you were inside the cave. You inhale deeply, and the air that you feel in your lungs feels both very light as well as very sharp. As you inhale, trying to regain yourself, almost like staving off some form of possible panic attack. The air pierces your throat like small needles. It appears that wherever you are, at the very least, you can gauge that either you are very high up in the air or somewhere far colder than where you were or where you have been for the last 2 weeks, even in 10 towns. Your vision gets a bit clearer, and your pupils, begin to register the light and kind of return, so you can actually see everything in front of you. What you see in front of you is a figure, a woman dressed in several different colors of furs, ranging from the whites to dark grays to dark browns. She seems to be facing away from you, but as you give her a strong look up and down, you see a set of long white hair that seems to flow in the wind that you hear whipping around. On her head, you see a circlet of antlers that seems to have at least grown since the image that you, or been replaced since the image you had originally seen back in Termalaine. And in her right hand, she holds a staff made of some form of ice-like substance or ice itself, rising up to about her height, and the top having a six-pointed star with a small orb in the middle. You take a moment. You once again, now being able to see, look to your left and to your right, and you see honestly, several of your other party members scattered about. There are 3 party members that you don't see as you're, beginning to register what might have happened. The party members you don't see are Irini, Spit, and Matra. The rest of you, as you can now see your body, you see your torso, the neck, the head, but everything else from the body is still petrified, made out of ice. You're essentially, it's like pseudo Han Solo, being frozen in the stone. You see the figure as you're catching your breath and you're trying to calm.
My apologies for disappointing you, or not meeting your expectations. Where's the rest of my family?
But for you to be the first to waken, you must be very resilient, young gnome. Answers to be revealed in due time, child.
Can I make an insight check?
But
I just want to gauge. I want to gauge. You want to know my story? I'm trapped in ice. You could devour my brain. Yeah. Am I being toyed with, or is she serious? Fair, totally fair. My gaze, while I did look her up and down, I have not met her eyes at all. And my gaze is in a a very subordinate kind of way, staring at her feet. I calm my hyperventilation. I am like any good gnome. I am on a devout search for knowledge. And my family are the means to that end. So, I have answered your question truthfully. Where is the rest of my family?
And I told you, child, that there will be time to discuss that particular matter once the rest of your friends here have awoken. There's... well... Your visit was unexpected. I'm not ready for you all to be here yet. So needless to say, I might have work.
My deepest thanks for the compliment. And I smirk. No, my life is for naught if I don't have my family by my side. So, if I can, and very quickly, don't raise my head, but strike eye contact with her. I am not a gnome to be trifled with.
Is it?
In the same way that I am not someone to be trifled with either. Not someone to be betrayed, not someone to beat around the bush. I assure you, you will get your answers before our conversation's over. But in the meantime, I still don't feel you've truly answered my question. See, I feel as though...
If this is a veiled attempt to insult my pleasantries, I will remind you, I have been truthful. I seek knowledge, and knowledge is what I seek.
Well, alright then. The knowledge that you seek, I do feel very strongly could be found in other places, but, she, pauses for a moment. Perhaps you and I could find a mutual ground to stand on. You see, there's certain things that you can only learn up here in the north. Knowledge included. I feel very confident that I could provide you with sources to maybe help your pursuits. But of course, all of this comes with a trade. I don't give away things, you see. Just as your lives right now hold in the balance.
I audibly scoff. You speak of dignity. I'm trapped in an ice block with I would say barely 45 degrees of movement in all directions with my head. I have no whereabouts of my family, and you think my life, my life, I don't care about me. I want them safe. So where's my family? Situation like they're behind me, and again, I only have 45 degrees of movement. Oh no, that was Ono literally being.
They're here.
Yeah, no, that was Ono being.
You just can't see them currently.
Yeah, no, sorry.
But you will soon. I mean, like turning your head, you really can't see, like, if they're actually, like, behind you. What you see behind you, though. Oh, okay. I couldn't tell because your voice was it was overlapping with Clark. That's okay. Once again, Gnome, I will reiterate. You will see them soon. I can assure you of that. And at that point, she would see as Big Tune. You go through a very similar cycle to what Ono had gone through, waking from this perpetual slumber. You take a deep breath, almost like an instant reaction, like coming back to life, seemingly. And like he felt, the air is sharp, but thin. So like breathing, while it hurts, it doesn't do like any real, actual damage. But it's very, very cold where you are. And she looks to you, Big Tune, as you're going through this sequence, and like begin looking around, or trying to, as your vision begins to once again return to its former glory over the next few moments. See, something that was very interesting about you all appearing here was I could have swore that all of the Strong Shield were wiped out. But she like uses her free hand and like palm down, like palm upward, showing, like, giving recognition to Big Tune. But yet it appears that my Samalku missed one.
Kitty?
Don't get me wrong.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, this is now my hyperventilation stills, and I'm like, okay, I feel the warmth of my family member close by, and I'm like, Kitty, I've given her truth, please stay stalwart.
I don't know what that means, but sounds good.
Oh jeez, this is a bad time to use big words. Strong like your shield, not making a joke about your name.
Okay.
Okay, it is kind of funny. I'm sorry, but no, I have absolutely no feeling in my hands, or like I know that they're there. I can feel them. I just can't absolutely move them at all.
So, like, being able to see, and you're like mostly clearly in your close proximity, I would say you have really good vision out to about 30 feet right now. So you'll be able to see the members of the party that I had explained earlier, which is everyone except Irini, Spit, and Matra. But you can see that you have your limbs on your body. You cannot, your body doesn't register that they're there right now. So like it feels like you're essentially just a head and a torso, and that goes for everybody currently. So you can't register them, you can't feel them, but you see that they are attached to your body yet.
No, where my dog Spit at?
Okay.
Again, I will reiterate, just as I have for your gnome friend here.
A family member is fine.
You will see them in due time. But you can't see them right now. Strong Shield, I will ask you, just as I have asked your gnome friend, what brings you northward to 10 Towns?
I mean, somebody very cold killed my whole family, so like, that's what I'm looking for.
Kitty.
Yo.
Hey, I don't want to break it to you. I don't want to pull this Band-Aid off. That might be.
Oh. Well, hey, I found him. I wish I could move right now. That'd be cool.
I'm in that same boat. If I literally, I only need 2 fingers. Just 2 fingers.
So you're brought here by hopes of vengeance to redeem what had happened to the rest of your clansmen. I heard you correctly.
I'm not gonna make any real assumptions because I don't really know who you are, but if somebody killed your family, wouldn't you be pretty mad too?
Also, yeah, you're also mincing words because it is a noble feat. Because like his family was mercilessly like slaughtered. So like
That's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody killed your whole family, wouldn't you be pretty mad too?
more like a
Or
not
would
a,
you just lay there and take it? Like, I
not a
mean, come on.
yeah, it's not like an ignorant vengeance. It's like a wholeheartedly like no, this is a stalwart, like full like quest seeking kind of truth thing. You like rude?
I used to.
The fall of tyranny soldiers did wipe out my whole family. Well, except for seemingly one. And she would look over to Ibrin, who has not woken up yet. It appears that there have been at least one. There was at least one living survivor. But I digress. I would savor a moment. I would love to finish the job that my simulacrum could not. But I feel that I could make use of you being alive, young Strong Shield. Of course, pending conversations that we're having today. If your
I mean, I
motivation
don't
is
really
to...
have a choice right now, so.
No.
Like again, she has set up the deck against us. So I mean, yeah, Kitty, I totally agree with you.
I feel as though you're not taking myself seriously in these matters.
Oh
Just-
no, you have to understand. I completely take this seriously. You have me and what I can safely assume is within the safe vicinity of the entirety of my family frozen in your control. I am taking this fully seriously. What I'm not respecting is the sheer fact that we're not all in the same place at the same time. And it's like you're just being mean.
I don't play a battle that I cannot win. This merely helps ensure that the conversations we have today play without a hitch.
Probably the last thing I say, like, out loud smart is I, like, say it off the side of my cheek to Bigtoon. She's threatened by spit.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, I would be too. Except except I killed all his friends, so.
Yeah, we don't bring that up around him, man. That's not cool.
He's not here.
I don't know if he's not behind me.
At this point, you would, the remaining 3 members of the group who are here in person, Ibrin, Miris, and Athros, given that your scores were all very close together, the 3 of you would begin the wake process as well. A deep gasp of air, the air piercing like almost like needles in the back of your throat, light but sharp. Once again, just because I know that because Ben just got here, it takes you but a moment to for your vision to clear. Initially seeing but a blur. Initially seeing all white and then seeing the shadows of silhouettes, and then within a matter of moments your vision clearing out to about 30 feet. As all of you begin coming back to consciousness, you've been hearing this wind for the entirety of your conversations here, but now you can see where that wind seems to be coming from. You see a spiral of clouds that seem to extend out between maybe 30 and 50 feet from your location in a diameter, spinning storm almost of cold weather, pretty much just eliminating the ability to see a very long distance. Oh, good.
Okay. So wait, my character, she actually says I'm dead right now.
You would be, at this point, coming back to consciousness with 1 HP.
Okay, just wanna make sure I'm not actually
you're not
dead.
Yep. No.
Almost
Okay.
put my drink out.
Yeah, you're not dead. You have you would have
Disable
1
the
HP.
death effect? Okay.
And with that in mind, the rest of you too your HP will be at 1. It would not be at where it was when you were petrified.
Oh, you're...
Okay, so all of us are at 1.
Yes, everybody is at 1. And
That
Any
sucks
of my
because I
cast-
had 19.
any of my casters that I have, you do not have any spell slots right now either.
Well, no, yeah, I
Oh.
burned all my spell slots anyway.
If you had any left over, you do not have any left over.
I think Ben and I tapped out, yeah.
What about abilities?
Abilities that you haven't used yet would still be okay. Or like if you have multiple uses, like if you're Channel Divinity, if you had 2 uses of that, you would still be able to use your other one, should the opportunity arise. You're technically, as of right now, like, since your arms and legs are still petrified, you are a head and a torso. And so that means you have no somatic components. Or you can't cast any spells that require somatic components, or cantrips, I should say, that require somatic components. So if you have an ability that requires you to move your hands or legs, you cannot cast them at this time. But they have not been drained. Oh no, I would like you to make an Arcana check.
I would absolutely love to. Yep.
Oh no, as you are like between listening to like the woman in front of you talk and kind of glancing around at your family members who have begun their awakening process, you notice that whatever ice they seem to be enveloping your limbs and their limbs, it doesn't appear to be standard ice that you would find like on the Mare de Walden or Lake Dineshare. This seems to be something infused with a large amount of magic. You feel it might be something at least related to possibly charlatan, the substance that you initially began pursuing up here in the north.
I know, and I didn't want to say it out loud for her to be cocky about it because I had a feeling.
Based on your research that you've done into the substance beforehand, which wasn't a crazy ton because there's not a lot south of 10 towns that really mentions it, but it gives a lot of signals that it might be tied to it.
Would you?
Go on.
Okay. Because, hear me out, God. Just hear me out. When I got froze, Ono was running, right?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, Ono's other free hand, when I'm not casting or holding an object, I am touching my spellbook in some degree, okay? Will you, like, allow me, just in this instance, because it's not like it's a big thing, just have at least Ono has the present knowledge that the last object I'm touching in my hand is my book. Can I, like, over the next 10 minutes, or just because we're not debating skills here, could I quick ritual cast Detect Magic in this area? Like, I don't care that it's not subtle, and I hope she sees me, because technically my stoimatic ability is just to touch my book, and I just verbally, that's it. It's just verbal and somatic. And if you'll let me ritually cast, I just want to see what is going on in this area. Unless you're going to stifle me, and I'll totally be cool with that.
You are more than welcome to try.
Because, yeah, okay. Well, then, yeah. God, yeah, I'm gonna, if God will let me, yeah, then in my wizard ability, because of my my spellbook, I'm gonna ritually cast a spell that normally takes 10 minutes. It's actually just a quick casting time. So I cast Detect Magic. If God will let me. Yeah, I look her, like, if she's not looking me in the eye, I'm just like, after I make this deduction of, like, we're trapped in the thing I'm fucking looking for, I cannot show my hand any more than I'm pretty sure she knows. I'm just gonna straight up, I'll do it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna not even be quiet about it. I'm gonna say my verbal part in Gnomish like I normally do, like under my breath between my teeth, and I say them out loud. And if she doesn't stifle me, I'm just gonna cast Detect Magic. That doesn't necessarily require me a spell slot because I can ritually cast this.
This is true, and your detect magic doesn't require a somatic component. It just requires touching your.
Because technically, because of my Awakened spellbook, as long as I'm touching my book, in that sense, for this spell in this term for a ritual, that is the stomatic component, is me touching my book.
We'll see. We'll see if it works. You're always welcome to try.
I mean, like, I can't roll against it. It's you either let it happen or not. If not, it's cool. I'm gonna say the verbal components out loud. I'm gonna look her dead in the face, and if she cuts me off, cool. If she ends me right now because she doesn't understand Gnomish, yo. Grachen Fifmatishkawahana. I say in Gnomish.
As he's reciting his verbal components, you would hear, or the rest of the party, I guess, truly would hear the woman say, "He certainly is an interesting one. I'm glad you're all awake now. For a moment I thought that Kessel, my servant, might have killed you on the way here." And you would hear in the background that same hissing noise that you had heard in the caverns, as directly behind all of you, some of you being your 45-degree angle of your head being a little bit differently positioned than others. I would say maybe our two people on the end of this small crescent of party members would be like Miris and Ibrin. You see, wrapped very loosely around the party, laying down, is the serpentine creature that you had encountered in the Goodmead Caverns, and it raises its head for but a moment to be acknowledged from the woman, but then lays itself back down, not feeling a need to have a hostile presence.
Sorry, my wife was asking me. Just wait, the serpent is encircling us?
No, not encircling. Like, it's like laying in like the party's arranged in like a half crescent,
Okay.
like formation.
Essentially just chilling in the background.
It's just hanging out here. It's not.
Sorry.
It's
Okay.
not wrapping around you. It's like hanging out behind the party, mimicking the shape of that
Oh, like
crescent.
Orochimaru style, like it's got its Lord Manda behind him style.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Like he's the second row of the benches, basically.
Yeah. Total vibe. Love it.
Yeah.
He's serving
Yeah.
like mean queen energy. I love it.
Let me ask you, as a group, a question. What do you know about the 1,000 prophecies of Nibirin the Wise?
Can I make a?
Can I roll like history on that?
Everybody,
Just-
if they want to, could roll a history. I would say the party members who would have the highest chances of knowing something would be Ono, Miris, and probably Athros. So you would be able to roll with advantage.
I was gonna ask.
Yep,
yeah,
I definitely know it.
If this is tied to my research, then absolutely.
Yeah, and that's where I say, since you and Miris are both
Apparently I know.
scholars, the two of you would have advantage on that throw. Athros, this would be something you probably would have learned when you were at your holy temple or monastery or whatever you want to call it in your early trainings.
Then
Clubhouse.
can I use a religion check instead?
Honestly, I think I'd allow it. It's
Okay.
not
It's not gonna be
directly.
much better.
Yeah, it's not directly tied to any particular faith, but there have been a lot of faith-like aspects that have been interpreted from it.
Wait,
That's kind of on brand for you to still roll poorly.
Oh wait, no, that's an addition. Sorry.
Miris, if you haven't already, it looks like you only rolled once. You are welcome to roll a second time, as this would be something you probably would have a higher chance of knowing, given that you are also a scholar. So if you wanted to roll that history check with advantage, Miris, you could roll it one more time.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the high one because he didn't know to roll it with the
Yeah, that's
double
fine.
one.
No, I'm gonna allow it. So that would be okay.
It's a merciful god.
So,
I know.
Athros, was it just, Ibrin, did you want to roll it all for a
I think with my backstory and lack of time, although I might have read on history, I don't know if that would be something necessarily my character would have picked up on.
Okay.
Would have been current events for you, not history.
Well, true, sure, I'll roll.
You are kind of
Fair
a hit.
enough.
Okay.
He's by default the team historian.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, in the sense of like he's kind
Literally
of
history.
around a long time. Yeah.
So
I was
What
alive for the first 500 of them.
what you, since the 5 of you did meet my DC, what the 5 of you would know, in different amounts, like Aethros, you would have heard about the 1,000 prophecies of Nibiru the Wise, and how he is what is referred to as a dreamer, or essentially some planes call them seers. Some people call them clairvoyant beings, but basically when they sleep, they can see the future. And he has written over. You would know that he is someone who is considered a dreamer, but to what extent, and like, other than the fact that he's written a ton of prophecies, you don't really have a lot of information. Big Toon, Ono, and Miris and Ibrin, on the other hand. Ibrin, you would have learned about this from like lore, as he would pull history from certain aspects in time. Something that, even if it's not like full on like information about the prophecies that are being talked about, it's still information that you would have learned, which is just that there's, at least at the time period that you had learned about him, he had at least 700 and some prophecies that he had written, him being a human, but he was one of the better dreamers to come from Vas'Kai as a plane, and many of the prophecies that he had predicted had already come true. For you, it was like, when you learned about it, probably about 100, 150 of them, and still going. Big Toon, you would have encountered not so much Nibiru himself, as he lived well over 1,500 years before the present timeline, but you would have encountered dreamers in the past, having one, though not nearly as well trained as Nibiru himself, within your Strong Shield caravan, to help guide the clan and directions of where they needed to go. So you would have heard from them both in your own trainings, as well as just like in like evening consultation that you would have been a part of things that they had seen in their visions. But Ono and Miris, the two of you, at some point, whether it's the same books or different books, both autobiographies from Nibiru himself, or being able to get glimpses into some of the texts that had been written about the visions he had predicted. Nibiru was a rather big figure about 1,500 years ago, and many people both sought him for consultation, seeing him as some form of prophet, and he had a lot of people who wanted him to be unalived for various reasons themselves, him having a lot of personal security because of that. But his prophecies that he has written, every single one of them, at least up to like, I don't know, since you probably read the books, probably the first 500 plus that he has written have already come true, with many more that were still coming to pass. And there's just a plethora of texts about this individual. Whether or not you choose to pursue more information about him or dreamers themselves, he's always been a name that has been very well recognized in your studies.
Like a thesis on like one of his prophecies being like, this is how they deduced how he came up with this prophecy, and he was just sitting on the John, and he's just like, oh, by the way, a river will crush this bridge and kill a town, just because he was pooping.
Sure.
Talk about the
In my
floodgates
head-
opening.
In my headcanon, that is like Ono's like, the obscure is the best part about knowing the magic behind the fun stuff. Like, yeah, I have jokes in association with my backstory. You're killing me right now, God.
The woman in front of you all would after like seeing kind of like the looks on people's faces, from at least understanding things, like trying to her trying to gauge whether or not everyone understood who Nibiru was. If nobody would verbally say it, she would probably just start spouting. Nibiru the Wise was a grand prophet, a dreamer who saw visions in their sleep. He has written, or had written, well over 1,000, 1,200 prophecies in his time. There are many prophecies that I'm sure the people in the southern towns beyond the spine of the world are hoping will come true. But there's one prophecy in particular that I am hoping to change through one means or the other. And that prophecy is what is referred to as the rise of the Ice Witch. It tells the tale of a woman rising to power, that of a frost druid commanding an army in the north, but then falling to a group of advantageous individuals finding home, either permanent or temporary, in that area. You see, I feel that that group might be your, how do you call it, the Broken?
Yes, that's...
Yeah,
I mean,
broken
if you're
butthole.
trying-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to say it like the right way, you got to pronounce broken, like in we say it in Gnomish.
I don't speak that.
No, you do when you say our name like that. When you say it like the broken butthole, that's when
Yeah,
when
the
you
broken
say it.
butthole. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're saying the first part of our name is Gnomish, and then the rest is just common. Why?
Oh.
What does it mean in common?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Am I missing a joke here, Aethros?
I have no idea.
Right,
Should I roll a bluff check?
I don't get a good answer. All right, fair. I'm stalwart. I don't want to let her know that I know, even though she may know that I know. I like, as we're making the side banter, I like side cheek. Don't make eye contact with her because I'm like trying to look at my family. But I'm like, so you really think we're the group? You know, there are like 2 other adventuring parties that we've passed in the past like 10 days who are almost on a very similar mission.
Wait, what? Really?
Look at me. I mean, you really think I'm gonna stop this person? Okay.
No, but I do. When
You're at the bar,
she had,
that awesome set, and there was that one group that I was talking to because you spilled that beer on that dude.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
You
we
were-
spill a lot of beer.
You literally just won a hand of cards with Aethros.
But
That happens
no,
all
when
the time as
she
well.
mentions the ice witch, I definitely like kind of look at her very quizzically and be like, wait a minute, wait. So was that you? Because you said you had my client killed and you wanted everybody dead. But did you make it look like it was her? I look at everybody else. What's her name?
Oral?
The cold lady. Yeah, that one. Did you make it look like it was her?
Frostmaiden?
The wonderful thing about simulacrums is they can take on any appearance I want them to.
Oh, so what are you hoping to gain from taking her out?
Oh, I don't want Oral to disappear. In fact, I want her to continue down the path that she's on.
Stand last, kitty. She's
I
trying
thought you said you wanted to stop it.
No,
You said
she
you
wants
wanted
to.
to stop
wants-
the prophecy.
Yeah, the prophecy. So the prophecy. So, Nick, the dude, the dreamer dude, he dreamed about a group. Probably not us. Like
Definitely
legitimately.
not us.
I mean, it's probably us.
Probably. Damn it, kitty. Probably not us. But hypothetically, you know, like paths cross, and you know, people do bad stuff in here, and we know some people who are kind of, going after Oral, and who's to say it's us? I really don't think it's us, honestly.
I mean,
Little
it's definitely. I don't know about you guys, but it's definitely me. So
kitty.
I'm just saying.
Okay, it's probably us. There's not. I mean, I'm not really good at lying. There's not really.
I'm not saying it.
Probably us. If you're the one who killed Bigtoon's family, and I get kind of serious, I'm a little upset. That's not. I mean, that's just from.
I'm a lot upset.
No, I know you have a full right to be upset, but I don't have a familial connection. I only have the familial connection with you. So my upset is an extension of your upset. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So now you, lady, miss, ma'am, rudely not introduce yourself informally, although I feel like we know who you are. I just rude. Okay, so you're just gonna off us? Why don't you just you're just gonna off us right now? It's gonna be messed up. What if it's not us, and then you wasted the time? Hmm.
Just as a quick sidebar, Dakota.
Yeah.
What does she look like?
Oh, I have images for you now that everybody's awake.
Oh God,
Oh,
yes.
okay, cool. 'Cause I may make a poor decision here.
Eat us. Oh no, I'm a little upset. I'm a lot upset.
I just need to know. Okay.
It's doing that
Yeah.
stupid thing again. Okay, one sec.
Yeah. No, it wants me to download the file.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you all do that. That'd be rude.
I mean, it's fine.
I got it on my phone. Give me a second.
Oh, tried to open it in Notepad and that did not work.
I'm gonna try it again.
You can open it in Paint.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, John. That's not. I don't know how. Debatable. Debatable.
It's under my favorites. I don't know why it's not up.
Oh.
It's weird because when
I got you.
Yeah, thank you. And then I also have a full-on body token that I made in Hero Forge.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so color-wise, there's no blue.
No, she's like stark white.
That is a shame. I wanted to call her the Blue Meanie.
The blue mini. Damn, that is a great minifig. Good job.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy
She
with
looks
it.
like she's about a foot and a half tall, but
Oh, you.
Very nice. Powerful stance. Jeez.
all right. Anyways,
All right, not making it fun.
Truthfully, I can't confirm whether or not you are the group that is spoke of in this prophecy, but to alleviate your thoughts that I have malicious intent behind you being here, I don't want to kill you all. Not currently. Truthfully, that would be beneath me. So I have some propositions. You see, I do feel that you're right. One of the answers of you being here could be me just wiping you out for the sake of avoiding this conflict altogether. If it is you, well, then I've solved my problem that way. If it's not you, then I've murdered a innocent group of people, and that's not what I'm going for right now.
hang on. Then
Right now.
Currently.
Nope. Kitty, don't argue
strong-
because we're gonna get to the arguing later.
No,
Damn it.
the strong shields would like a word.
The strong shields are dead.
The strong shields have the floor. Sorry?
They're on the floor, but yeah. You said you don't want to murder an innocent group of people.
Currently.
Last time I checked, you already checked that one off the list.
Oh, the strong shields were in my way. I would hardly call them innocent.
Rude. Like
They were just standing in front of you, or
no, I think
Well, she was flying, but okay.
but this is more of a this isn't like a hey, you're standing in the mutton line, get out of the way kind of thing. This is like an oppositional kind of like they're opposed to her like her stances.
Aren't most people opposed to her?
She has followers, I would safely assume. Not to be rude, ma'am.
I mean, technically, we're following her right now.
But that's forcible. It's forced. Also, again, if we're being like speaking globally, universally, multiversally, it technically Nibiran kind of did the thing because chance and all.
Yeah.
Nibiran created a situation that I need to resolve so as to fulfill my own needs. And she like would look down at like her hand, and as like you look at her, you see that you can tell that she has a very similar appearance to what Atina did as far as like overall physical like health. Like she has very pale skin. She has the piercing blue undead eyes. You see, I need to be uninterrupted with the work that I'm doing here, and I know that you had spoken with, and she would like, in a more aggressive tone, utter out, I know that you have spoken with the priestess Phrygia, the current chosen of Oral, though how she could be chosen and directly oppose her deity's will is beyond me.
It might be
yeah,
because she
Phrygia.
doesn't hijack people's bodies.
What was that? I missed that.
I said it might start with her not hijacking people's bodies. Ebron would probably say in the back.
Oh, trust me, this is only temporary. But I do feel that a thank you is in order to all of you here with the broken. And she would look to everybody, honestly, with the exception of Miras, because you weren't around at that point. You see, had it not been for you and your endeavors, I would still be trapped within the husk of Cephalic Caltro. So I'm going to give you 3 options.
Ooh, option number 2.
We
Door
don't
number
know.
3. Door number 3.
Wait, what if option 1 is like a basket of puppies or something? Wait, is it a basket of puppies?
Oh yeah.
This puppy is like definitely don't want it.
Well, I mean, I would wonder about their health unless they're like huskies, Ooh, or
Also
Mal-
that.
Well, you. Oh yeah, that's right. You're.
Anyways, what's door number 1?
Sorry, I'm typing quick.
Also, I am such a dingus, and not just for the things like we do in just normal. I have read this page 100 times, and I am just now seeing who is the notated quote on Oral the Frostmaiden's page.
Oh yeah. Bictune, I'm gonna be sending you a private message. This is something you would hear. It sounds almost like a whisper.
Okay.
To you.
So do I hear it inside my head or like aloud as if it were whispered in my ear?
It sounds as though it is aloud. It is
Mhm.
something. It sounds like it's as if someone's whispering in your ear. And
Okay.
this is something that you've encountered previously, whether it was with the party or not. It doesn't really matter. But you feel as though you could respond to this if you wanted to. And it would
Like in the same manner, like without
Yeah.
others hearing?
essentially you could utter something to yourself, and it would reach its destination. It would just be audible to you.
Okay. Well, then I will respond.
And as the party anxiously awaits the continued conversation, she would turn to face away from all of you again, and As she does so, you would see the symbol of a six-pointed snowflake engrave itself in the icy surface below her feet. The 3 points facing farthest away from you would jut out a bit farther, and you would see that rising from the ends of those snowflakes would be a archway, something very similar to what you had experienced with Matra in the back room of the Church of Oral. But instead of it glimmering as 3 like radiant doorways, you see that ice begins to fill in the middle, and it immediately fogs over. It appears to be almost as if it's a mirror and not a doorway itself. Your leftmost path, your first option. And as she says that, the first mirror, instead of being frosted over, it enters this like glossy sheen. You can actually see your reflections within it for but a moment. And then the image within the mirror becomes that of what you see your party venturing in the lightning tank, heading down some form of frozen pathway. Every single there's anybody. Oh, never mind. The party who is currently here on the mountain, you would see inside the lightning tank, Ebrin driving, Big Tune keeping lookout as you're heading down this pathway that I don't think any of you have been down before. Your first option is to leave 10 Towns. Pack up your things, finish any loose ends, gather any supplies you need, and journey down the 10 Trail, south, to the edge of the storms of the Rime. Do this within a 10-day, and I will personally guarantee your safety crossing that passage. And in doing so, you shall not find any interruption from me, should you cross that Rime. Remove yourself from this situation willingly, and I will guarantee your safe passage.
So you personally guarantee our safe passage, so all of the guilds that may be hunting me right now, you're going to kill every single bounty hunter?
No, I don't think it's...
I'm part of the party, so you're going to protect me.
No, that's not... I don't think that extends that far. No. No. Option 2?
She would give an affirmative look and then wave her hand towards the images again. As she does so, the first mirror freezes over once more, and the second one once again becomes glossy. You would see a different perception of yourself in the mirror, once again seeing your image, before it once again changes to something else. This time you see the party venturing through what looks like some form of forest. Single file marching, Big Tune leading the way, looking like tracks on the ground, marching through what seems to be 1 to 2 foot deep snow. No lightning tank in the distance, and once again it is just the 5 of you that you see that are here on this summit-like location. Your second option, feel free to stay in 10 Towns, but by doing so, you're going to do something for me. You see, what I'm trying to accomplish, what I'm hoping to do here in the north, is bring myself back to full strength. Something I cannot do, and she would look down at her form that you see before you. Something I cannot do with this body. But there is a body here. A perfect match for one such as
right
myself.
Here.
No, Athros, no.
Here in 10 Towns. And she would give him this she would give Athros this annoyed glance for but a moment before returning her eyes back to the people who I feel are taking her the most seriously, which would be Ebrin and Ono.
Yeah.
I can't... I can't even. I want to will my quill into my hand, but apparently I can't feel my hands. So you're
Yeah,
just
you
not
can't
me.
feel your hands. Which reminds me, at this point, you would feel your detect magic kick in,
Yes.
and you would see a strong arcane aura coming from every single person's limbs trapped in the ice, from the serpent behind you, and then from the woman in front of you herself. You would feel this strong arcane presence.
Cool.
The magic itself is a bit of a blur, as the charlatan can take on like aspects of any of these schools of magic, but from Hedrun you feel a strong both evocation and necromantic presence.
I want to make an insight check on her. Does she know that I was able to pop off a spell?
Yeah, go for it.
Is this? For God.
I mean, the roll sucks, but it does play into the situation at least.
Yeah, legit. I'm like, I got a spell off. My demeanor changed when my family woke up. My attitude steals now. I know I can do magic now. Hedrun. Ice Witch Hedrun. What is your stupid person that is of interest? And then please move on to the third option.
The person of interest. I'm not surprised that you don't know them. And she would look at at Kessel, her serpent, and like weave her hands in the air. What you would hear is like this almost like bones like breaking, but it's the rib-like structures of this creature bending in a unnatural direction. As you hear Kessel kind of let out this groan of what you feel might be pain, something that it had also let out when Ebron hit it with a powerful arrow in the cavern. You see the completely frozen over body of Matra appear. I would say next to Miris, because he is on the end that I envision. You see, should you choose this path, you'll be taking the girl with you. She has not been fully honest with all of you, and neither has Atina for that matter. So I'm not surprised you don't know. And she would like come in super close, like begin walking up towards the party. I envision probably Big Tune and Ono are frozen next to each other. And she would like whisper between the two of you. You see, there's a third sister that they haven't told you about. Something that even... And she would like begin walking backwards. Something even Atina is keeping suppressed from me, her consciousness not fully under my embrace. And that third sister, wherever she is here in the north, is that of a frost druid. And I want her body for my ritual. Should you choose this option?
So option 3.
Don't say no, but just chill, because we don't know what option 3 is.
I already
Hold
did
on.
say option 2.
Do I know who she's referencing? We were traveling with a druid earlier in this part of the campaign. Is this... She's referencing...
She is not referencing the person you had traveled with earlier.
Okay. I didn't want to like blow anything and be like, I have a revelation. Okay, cool.
Bring me
Yeah,
her.
Ono's third eye opens up.
Legit.
Yeah, right.
And as I had said before, should you do this for me, I will bring no harm to you and your friends, so long as you stay out of my way. But of course, everything comes with a cost. And she, really before even saying that, would say, But you seemed less interested in that option.
We're not
So
interested
you want to know
in all of them.
your
but,
third
you know,
choice.
respectfully, because I mean, again, you did offer us 3 options. Respectfully, we would like to at least hear the 3 options. Like going to a restaurant and then being like, all right, well, we've got stew and we've got potatoes and we've got a third option. What do you want? You know, it's like, well, maybe I'm glad you told me you have 3 options, you know?
She would wave her hand once again the opposite direction. You would see the second mirror once again freeze over with that matte-like surface. And the third one gloss over so you can see yourself. Same visage that you had seen before. You see your reflection for about a moment. And then this time, though, rather than walking anywhere, you see all of your bodies scattered on the snow. Your third option is I could just kill you all here. And we could just end this whole charade altogether.
I mean, not that that's a viable option, I guess, in your wheelhouse or book, but I mean, like, didn't you just say that that was, like, not something you wanted to do? If we are innocent, which I fully believe that we're the wrong people in the group. You know, there's a group with an ASMR running around here. Not ours, but another one.
What's an ASMR?
Shh,
straight up.
quiet.
You see, I don't want this to be your solution, should it not need to be, should you feel that your other options are more viable. And she would look at Ibrin. But not all of you have Arathi blood running through your veins, which leads me to believe that you are my group. And she, locks eyes with Ibrin. Because your mother is the one who weakened me enough for the fall of tyranny to slay my living body. Oh, so long ago.
And do you not think we're capable of doing that again? I kind of tilt my head to the side and smile a little bit.
You only have 45 degrees of movement. Chill.
Yeah.
Hey, I still tilt it a little bit.
She would chuckle to herself. Even if you had the ability to take me out right now, what good would it do you? I'm but a husk. Truly, Atina's body could not be more useful in this time as I prepare for the longevity of my return. And she would wave both of she would drop the staff and you see it hover in place as she uses her 2 hands to seemingly spread them outward, and you see the storm that has been encircling this area begin to fade. As you look down, as you look at this newfound opening, your vision now being very, very clear, you see that you are definitely nowhere near Goodmead, where you had been before. As you look, you are definitely on a very large summit, and you could probably deduce that you're on Calvin's Cairn, given the knowledge of high areas around here, other than the Spine of the World. But what makes you deduce this as your solution? Those of you who would do that, I'm not sure if Athros would deduce that or not. You see 2 towns with lights shining down below. This is probably the clearest you've seen 10 towns in a very long time. Honestly, probably since the first few days that you've been here, when the first set of blizzards had passed. You see 2 towns occupying the shoreline of what looks like Lake Dineshare, this large, mostly frozen body of water in the north. And you see sticking out from those 2 towns very large pillars, similar in appearance to what you had encountered in Termlane. You see them standing about, I'd say probably about 150, maybe 200 feet in the air. Width-wise, it's really hard to gauge given this distance, but they have to be very, very wide. And sitting in the middle, sitting at the top, you see once again a 6-pointed snowflake with a large crystalline structure of sphere in the middle, and these spheres are glowing that aqua color that you had encountered in Termaline as well, when it was charging up energy. Even if you had the ability to take me down, you won't be able to keep me down permanently. Not like this.
No, you're just a stepping stone.
She would form in her hand that of a very, very sharp-looking dagger made of ice, and you see her, without any sort of flinching, stab herself in the chest with it, and then pull that out. You see the hollow impact location, like you had seen with Atina when she would get injured, and what you had seen with Sefik when he had been injured in your battle with him. But no blood or anything comes out. In this body right now, I'm basically immortal. But you see, it comes with a cost that I want to alleviate, and that is the limit of my strength. I can only conjure so much magic. The magic I can conjure, and she puts her hand facing down, signaling towards the two towns directly at the bottom of the mountain. The magic that I can conjure will help me accomplish my goals, but it's nowhere near the strength I would have should I have a living, breathing, bleeding body. And she has this smirk that comes across her face. Something akin to the Frost Druid that I'm asking you to seek out in one of your options you have before you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Not that I'd like to speak for my entire family, but I'm pretty sure I know what we're gonna choose. So, option 3 is off the table because I don't want to give you the satisfaction of taking out the best strong shield and the rest of my family. And option 1 is a no-go, because we have absolutely no other option but to continue our journey along. And we will not give that up. So, it seems as though you will have to release us from these divinely placed prisons and let us on our way for us to help restore your fleeting power to that icy-like, corpse-like carapace you contain what you call a spirit inside of. I think we're all in agreement, family? Option 2?
I think, truly, decisions such as these, things that can impact a person's ability to survive and impact your lives in general, should be met with a bit of discussion. Because I'm going to give you a bit of time where I will not interfere, because I want to see how this plays out truly. Allow me to give you a bit more reason to consider your options carefully. Your first, and she would once again wave her hands towards Kessel, and you see the frozen image of spit appear on the side of Matra. So it would be Miris, then Matra, then spit. Same thing, the weird contorting sounds absolutely awful. Like bones breaking made of ice. And you see the image of spit, with his bow drawn, ready to go, when he got hit by the con save, the flash freeze. Should you choose the first option, like I said, everything comes with a cost. Your cost for the first option would be leaving Matra here with me. Should you choose to not pursue the Frost Druid, I will extract that information from her through any means necessary. If Atina won't give it to me, I'm sure Matra will, being of living and breathing blood herself. Your second option, finding the Frost Druid. She would walk over to the image of spit. Should you choose to pursue this for me, you will be taking Matra with you and getting that information from her. But you will be leaving behind until the mission is complete your dear goblin friend here. Spit, I believe you referred to him as.
You unscrupulous, vile witch.
Such a young boy. It would be a shame. And she, like, kind of grabs, like, the top of his head for a moment. It's all still made entirely of ice, and she squeezes, and you see a singular crack form. It would be a shame if something happened to his figure.
Get your filthy frostbitten mitts off of him.
I love seeing your anger. It shows that you truly do care. And your third option, well, should you find yourselves too noble, too morally strung to pursue either of these other two options, then please feel free to accept your fate. I already have that which I need from the Aeroth boy. Ibrin, I want you to make a perception check for me. Given that it's been enough time, I would say you can make it with advantage.
Have I defrosted it all?
Yeah, you've been, like, no, like, your arms and legs are, like, made of this magical ice right now. Defrosting isn't really a thing with this. You're just a torso and head, currently, with, like, your bow drawn like you were gonna fire an arrow.
Well, I was hoping I at least had a finger, because I was gonna do a psionic dagger and throw it at her.
Yeah,
You said
no hands or legs.
you said perception advantage.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on this check. You notice that your torso, while it is living and breathing, you see that there is a some form of previously bleeding wound that you had not noticed when you were fighting with the serpent. Something that seemed to have happened between you defrosting or being, allowed to thaw to this point and now, but not since you had awoken. It appears that whatever had happened, whatever wound you had been afflicted with, it was before you had regained consciousness. But
So
you would
we're
notice
just,
it around when she said, "I have everything I need from you."
So we're just petrifying people and stealing kidneys now, like a little. I think you know what I know you are already, so I'll let you call yourself that.
I am merely someone hoping to regain my former throne. And when I do, 10 towns will be cut off from the world permanently. And a new rule will be under me. All will drop to their knee underneath Hedrun. So should my place be. And she would,
Just for my own records, not that I'm trying to impose on anything, you are with Oral, but you are vehemently trying to show power above her? Just for my own records?
Oh no, I want to serve her.
Okay,
Serve
so
her as I had for many years before now.
fair. Okay, just trying to keep track. So this is like a, hey boss, I'm back in action. Got it. Cool. 100%. I just stare at her. As soon as I make that off, like, non sequitur comment, I just stare blank face at her, knowing that I've got magic for you, lady.
I'm sure you do. I'm going to give you a bit of time to discuss amongst yourselves. This decision should not come lightly, as each of them have their own reasons. I don't like picking battles I cannot win. I also don't want you to die, should you have other means to make things work. You have 10 minutes. At that point, whatever the majority of you say will be your decision. And she steps back for but a moment, turns away, and kind of like raises her hands up in the air, and you see that cloud once again that you had seen before recircle the 50-foot vicinity, or 50-foot radius. You since she's giving you 10 minutes, I will actually give the group 15 IRL minutes to talk amongst yourselves. She isn't actively listening, but it doesn't mean that she can't hear you.
Stop, bro. Stop. Sorry, secret chat. Sorry. I oh no, very seriously, like
I'd do it.
I if I know that, okay, hold on, God, 1 second. If I know that that's what you're doing, like I see you fidgeting and I look over it, I can look at Aethros' face, right, God?
Yeah, I would say you have eyes on his face.
Perfect. If I look over and see you do the like I'm fidgeting face, yeah, I 100% just don't say anything, let it happen. So then I fill this time while I know we're about to do this with just what's it called? Not gerrymander. Fucking just BS. Fucking and the Millennium Falcon is the Spelljammer in the Astral Sea. I'm fucking yeah. I go off on a tangent to give you the space to do that if God will let you do it. I stand by what I said in secret chat though.
Yeah. So should I?
I think yeah. I think honestly, if Ono looks over at Aethros, I legitimately just start talking out loud about, I pontificate about how, you know, you're a vile witch, how dare you, like this is this is the worst time for a villain monologue. I go off for 9 minutes and 58 seconds, and while everyone is stoic and silent, I say, I choose option 2. I don't know about the rest of the family. I'm pretty sure we're all choosing option 2. God, I hope this works.
Miris,
Yeah. So I want to ritually cast silence.
you are such a goof.
You gave us 10 minutes. Exact time of ritual casting.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Hold on, I gotta do some fucking reading.
Yeah, he's gonna. It's the little things in life, guys.
Yeah. Hey, Aethros is chaotic. Neutral chaotic.
I mean, yeah, like like could possibly do it. Could possibly. He's concentrating really hard.
Ethers might have to turn that is to was, depending how this plays out.
Look, if he gets it, that'll be awesome. Just narratively, because I have things to say after if we are allowed to walk away from this.
As you finish your casting,
I'm sorry.
god damn. As you finish your casting of the silence spell, for but a brief moment, you feel this deafening silence come over all of your ears. But as it happens, you watch as Hedrun, she takes her hand and she hold on, fucking what are the components for this spell?
Yeah, does she
You are
need
such
a
a
verbal
goober.
for hers?
For his spell or for your spell? It's technically, if
Yeah.
he's ritually casting it, he's good to go, I believe. He could just.
Yeah, she doesn't need verbal components.
Sick.
Your silence lasts for, I would say, a grand total of about 3 seconds. But you watch as the final casting of the spell seems to be interrupted as she counterspells your silence.
Boo. true.
So
That's
you
all
feel
hear
it. You
from
feel
Athos.
it. Yeah,
Counter spells with amplifiers, so we just all shout.
Yeah, I mean,
What
I
is
know
this,
we're all
thaumaturgy? You, tiefling, and she would look at Miris. You've been eerily quiet this entire time. Do you have thoughts on what your party should do?
That's rude. It could be just a personality trait of his.
I have been thinking a little bit.
Just imagine Mirrors in the background. I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Yeah.
I got hired the other day. Haven't even got my first meal.
Yeah.
Just observing what's going on.
It's like, I want to get out of here alive.
Oh, legit, that's respectable. Mira's known us for more than like a week.
Not even like 3 days.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah, Miris has not been with you long. You do not know how long you were out, but Miris has not been with you for more than a couple days.
Gotta get the keen mind feed. Fuck.
So silent, so stoic. He's just so deep in thought.
His mic.
I'm
is
sorry,
picking
I
up
did
shit.
Did I get a response from Miris? I didn't.
It looks like he's talking. I don't know if he is though.
Who, me?
No, Ian.
No, Mirrors.
Oh,
I
I'm
think.
just thinking.
Okay. I love that Miris is smart enough to know that he is gonna fill this time and use it wisely. Oh,
As opposed to some of us who don't use it wisely.
hey, man. You know, it's two sides of the coin, bud.
Yeah.
Also, Dakota, I love this music selection. I hate you so much because it's perfect.
Dude, I've been waiting on this for a long time. Been sitting on this one.
This is a good one. This is a good one to sit on.
But where's the music coming from? Because I don't hear it at all.
I'm playing
I-
it through my phone
I-
separately.
Yeah, I played.
Oh.
I posted it in a general chat like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I
just
can
so
never get
You had
if,
a preview of what was to come today.
yeah, if he plays it through Foundry, I can never hear it. So if
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
yeah.
Yeah, I never do it through Foundry just because it's another resource that's just intensive enough. I don't really feel like dealing
Yeah.
with it. But I figured some things are worth sharing because a lot of times people like to have their own perceptions of the music.
Yeah.
And mine sometimes are super generic or cheesy. But this one was necessary to share. I was just like, this is good. This is good.
We're talking behind the screen. Most of the time, I play like if we're outside, nature sounds, and if we're in a bar, like I'll play like one of the YouTube tavern things, just so
Right.
it feels like that. We can all look at each other, right? At least for the most part. Like
Yeah,
now,
you can all like you can literally like look at each like you're not like huddled, you're in a crescent, but you can see everyone else's faces.
kind of like I'm staring at Hedrun, but I'm side-eyeing, and not in a bad way. I'm side-eyeing Maris in the sense of like Maris can say whatever Maris wants to say, honestly. I mean, Maris could ask to straight up leave, and that would be Maris's choice.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him like in the sense of like, you know, make whatever you choose, Miris, is your choice.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of like a reassuring kind of like, no fear, bud, no fear.
Well, I don't know if I'll be speaking for the whole party, but I kind of feel like option 2 might be the best one for us.
I smile, I smirk.
Does this seem to be everyone's decision? Or is this something that has been avoided in conversations since... And she would look at, oh no, someone spent that time uttering absolute nonsense.
And everything I say has a purpose, madam. Absolutely everything I say. And while I have a vehement stance against the fact that you are holding not only our footman and our coachman, but a family member hostage, it is the viable option for our family to take in order for us to accomplish our goals and the goals that you seek. Respectfully.
And just hijacking body parts or blood now too on top of it.
Yeah, legitimately, like, that's not, I mean, like, if we walk away from this, one of us has to stitch that up. Come on, that's rude. Again, rude!
I mean, he's not bleeding out. Like, the wound itself is...
Yeah, I mean, I assume cauterized due to frostbite, but that's rude. He's got a wicked scar now, but rude.
I mean, I can just heal that up. It's no biggie.
Don't let her know that, because, that's,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
trying to make her feel, not that she probably feels emotion toward us in that sense, but, I mean, she was probably somewhat humanoid at one point. My research isn't mistaken.
No, I'm sure she was a cold bitch before she was dead.
Oh, Aethros. Wow.
All of a sudden,
And I want to cast a light just right in front of her face, too.
You want to
Cast light right in front of her face. Just cause.
Yeah, but you have to touch it, though.
Oh, oops. That's right. Yeah.
Aethros in his mind thinks he's casting it, laughing, and we're all just kind of like, what?
I mean, technically his finger might light up, or the section of, ice rock magical substance that he's encased in.
Okay, instead of thaumaturgy, I make it sound like she just ripped a giant fart.
Someone needs to be the comedic relief.
I mean, I already picked option number 2, so
I'm pretty sure our entire family is
Yeah.
gonna pick 2, save for the fact that you have stuck something in our craw again. Like.
Well, this is the way that I see it. We choose option 1. We're able to leave, gain reinforcements. Oh, by the way, my mom's still alive. She'll probably want to help and call on resources that way. Come back, kill you. That's always an option. But at the same time, you've taken over somebody's body and you're not able to access his third sister at her location. I find it funny that you want to take over the other sister's body and think you could do it that way. Option 2, we help you, which still will stop us from trying to kill you in the future. Option 3, you just kill us now, which I'm almost half tempted to call your bluff. Because if you're just stealing body parts while people are frozen, you could have just did it then.
Oh, I didn't steal any body parts, Eroth child. And she would, hold her hand up in the air. You see the 4 fingers on one of her hands. She raises them to face you, and you see between each of those fingers is a small sphere. The sphere itself is probably about inch, maybe inch and a quarter in diameter. The inside of that sphere is a deep red with a slightly purple hue.
They're like ice-like ampules filled with what we can only safely assume is his blood.
Right. Yeah. Pretty accurate.
Then I would reach that point and I'd be like, and is that your blood? No, that would be mine. And I didn't consensually give that to you, so that would be stealing.
Legitimately had a flashback to when Gar was screaming blood.
And I'm quite literally talking down to her at that point. So I'm cool with any option at this point. 1, 2, or 3.
And her head would finally turn to Big Toon, who I think the party, if they looked at him, would see him mumbling something to himself, but they could not in any way hear what it was. She would look to him. And what about you, heir to the Strong Shield name? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. And like normally, you know, he's super easygoing and kind of generally presents himself to be a bit of an idiot, but this is the more serious side that you guys would have seen when we first met. And it's just kind of like he just genuinely is like beyond torn, like just does not know.
Well, do you want to live today, get stronger, and possibly die tomorrow, or do you want to just die now?
I hear your voice say that, and I don't not stop looking at her, but I address you. Bictune, Strong Shield, give this lady your answer.
I think she already knows what my answer is.
You see, Bictune, I am not a mind reader. And she, like, you would see, she creates
Not a mind reader yet. You want to read Matrix Mind. Okay, so option 3 doesn't work for you. Kidding.
You see,
Well-
she like weaves her hands in the air somatically, and honestly, Bictune, for you, this would be an image you have seen before. Everybody else, this would be new. Created from the mist itself, she inlays this in front of you on the ground, a image of the entirety of the Strong Shield clan, pretty much strewn about, fallen trees everywhere, and the clan, like essentially the clan, right after the battle with the Simulacrum and the Rock, and she puts that deliberately in front of the party. You see, I could see you thinking two different thoughts. To me, your first thought would be to find a way to kill me. So to buy you the most time in order to kill me, you would take option 2, to hunt down the druid that I seeked for my ritual. Buy yourself time, figure out a plan to bring me down. But I also see you as a noble man. Intelligent or not, it does not matter. You are someone with a high sense of morality. And I feel that given this circumstance, I could also see you being too morally strong to want to sacrifice anything and would want to meet the blade here and now. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah. And honestly, it's just it. I'm not sure that no matter which way we go, it all might end up the same way.
Bictune, I trust your judgment.
I mean, you see what I saw.
But you would be folly to not stand behind your clan's name and proudly walk forward. But I respect whatever you choose.
Ebron, I want you to make a Arcana check.
Straight up, or are you giving me some?
I'm going to give you just a straight up roll.
Oh, come on.
What, are you like reading a book right now? What, like, wait?
You feel that with your the level of strength that you have right now and what you've gained up to this point, in short bursts or short range, you might be able to use your telepathy without needing to point at the creatures. The range of this, it will require you to concentrate fully, but you'd be able to choose anybody within the group here as your targets.
I can't contact Major or Spit, though, correct? Or could I?
Well, Spit be encased in ice, and I believe he did say the same for Matra.
Yeah, they're both essentially statues made of ice at this point. They
think
they haven't been given the luxury of being able to to be able to breathe and
Right.
all that fun jazz.
And I don't believe we've been given a full status update of Arini, whether or not she was defrosted or not, but I'm hoping she was.
Yeah, you have not been given that information.
Oof. Yeah, see? Yeah.
I would try to telepathically link with the entire party then.
Ooh, okay.
I've got the psionic dice unless you're gonna nerf that.
No,
Or not nerf
it's-
necessarily, but
You can do up to 4 people, though, right?
Yeah, he would-
I think per die I can do 2, but I have to relay it. It's not like so
I'm
it'd be like
for
you
this
make
conversation, I'm gonna
myself
waive
for
that.
one.
just
Okay.
for this super, like, you're gonna be focusing so freaking hard to do it.
You spread
just-
your...
I'll just let you pulse it to everybody. If you want to spend, it'd be 2 dice, right?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just because, like everyone's gonna see. Hold on, I'll find a fucking gift that'll describe what it's gonna probably feel like, but you'll be able to.
Correct shit. I'm literally thinking of like 97 X-Men of like him. He can't touch the side of his head, but that's the like. whoop, 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 whoop.
I hate when I can't find one without text on it. So we're gonna just like,
Well, that's the one with text.
yeah, I'm just gonna send one
Yeah,
with
just
text.
send one with text.
We know what you're talking about. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
That's how it'll feel, but you could link with the whole party to talk in your mind. And I'll just let you. It's rule of cool. I'm gonna let you be able to talk to everybody without having to relay in this situation. Should you so choose.
We can make it a thing to where if I burn like an extra die, we can just make it pool versus relay. So then I burn 3 versus 2. If you want to like homebrew that,
I'll think of something. I think that might not be the worst option, but I'll figure that out.
or
That's-
with like the higher level my character gets, he can just not relay it. But
I'll figure it out, but that part's not important right now.
We're in
Anyway.
a party. We're in a Discord call in your brain.
right? What's that? You'd see my guy just stop talking, acknowledging people, concentrating, and then everybody would feel a sensation in their head, and you would hear my voice inside your head and being like, hey, I've linked everybody in the party here. We kind of need to make a decision here. And Big Tune, obviously, you're going through a lot, and we understand that, but it's still better to live today than die tomorrow, in my opinion. And for Miris, who's probably never experienced this before, essentially, I'm psionically linking all of our minds together to where anything that you say, we hear each other, but you don't verbally have to say it. You just mentally speak it, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense.
So your inner monologue, essentially.
Correct.
Got it.
Victor and I will stand beside you. But I know we can take this foe. She is just another obstacle that you and the rest of us conquer. Please show her no fear.
Kind of pensive and just kind of thinking over things. Just
I know that Aethros and I know that Aethros is in this like mind chat. I immediately like try to refocus and make it very apparent in everyone's mind that I'm refocusing to Aethros, and I like globally, so everyone hears it obviously, but it's just like Aethros and I can cast magic. She's not that strong. If we do not fulfill this little contract with her and instead turn it against her, I know we can do it. I know we can do it.
Not to put it out there as well, she never said in what sort of time frame we need to accomplish this goal either. So we could still do, help the citizens of Goodmead to get their food back and other things throughout 10 towns to still make it a better place, gain allies, gain people who would help us with the fight, and like I said, I may be able to call upon people as well. Didn't really think one of my parents was still alive, but there might be a way for me to get a hold of her and get some assistance there as well.
Sorry, Miris, you kind of got thrown into this, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
You're so cool and even-headed about this. I love it, man. This is awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Kitty, I picked
Sorry,
him.
I'm just trying to get caught up on things.
Yeah, Bigton's been
No, you're
been
good.
doing some mumbles, so I've been quiet too, talking to him. So
I'm getting lost because I'm looking at 18 different things at once here.
You're good. I just was gonna be like, I know I can't do it. I know, like, in my head, as much as I psychically can impress upon you, like, as much as an empathetic, like, psychic hug to you, as best as I can try to, like, arcane that. I know we can do this. Like a tense static in everyone's brain.
I'm just vibing with some intense negotiation music.
Yeah, no, I know it's playing in the background, and I feel like in my head canon, we're all like just looking at each other, like just eyes are darting backward and forth. And since I know Ibrin is taking full concentration, Ono is probably just like blathering every moment when I'm not talking or no one's talking. I'm just probably like, just literally just going off and being like, you're probably a really mean person. You probably don't know how to cook stew. Not that I'm trying to insult you personally, but I feel like that's probably something that's not in your wheelhouse. Just so it doesn't seem like she keys in on us having a side conversation psychically.
Sorry, I realize how quiet this is being. It's just
Good.
Bigtune hasn't said anything.
Shit. Oh god.
Bigtune hasn't said anything, so this is where I'm just making sure that I'm covering my own bases.
Well, he's clearly
Right.
reading stuff.
Oh no.
Again, I say without context, this is the best game.
Listen. What?
Would you like to share with the party what you're going through?
Maybe shit on your leg?
No.
Share the burden,
Yeah, really.
This person has deliberately only been talking to you, just so you know.
Yeah. I guess before I do make an official decision, maybe I should kind of. She can't hear us, to our knowledge at least. Maybe I should relay this information to the party.
Kind of aggravating if a cool ability could just get hijacked, but
You don't feel any extra presences in this mind space. It appears that this might be a
Right.
limitation of their power.
So
cool.
if I do decide to relay this information, could you make it a little bit more succinct for them, Dakota?
Are you saying you want me to like
You want to?
Yeah.
You want to
them
give
the
us the
rundown?
recap?
Yeah.
What say you?
If you say you want to convey the information, I will gladly tell you or tell everybody what you have been conversing about.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Before I make a decision.
insert Big Tune monologue. Big Tune, what everybody, well, primarily Ono, but I would say everybody at some point probably noticed him talking to himself. TLDR, Big Tune has been talking, like, quietly through what Ono would recognize and probably Miris recognize as the message cantrip to a probable Tabaxi individual who is saying that should you need support, they feel pretty confident that they can get you out of there, and hopefully everyone survives, and that Irini is safe with them, so they are with Irini, and Irini is going to provide support however she can to help get you out of the situation should you want the help, which means that if you, and like they asked for a signal, which was if the party didn't feel they could get out of this on their own, that it would be like a rar. And I think Big Tune mentioned that it would be like something in his dialect, or his clan's dialect, that he would let out.
Yeah, something recognizable, like as like
an audible
like
signal.
Just, yeah. Yeah, see, that's where the
We
disconnect
have
was, Dakota.
A
Because here I thought I was talking with her the entire time.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, that's my bad.
No.
That's my bad.
Do we
That's
have a
fair.
description of this tabaxi?
To my knowledge, it and I don't mean like of my above table knowledge. I mean to Big Tune's knowledge, it is likely to be one and the same.
guy hunting
for
me?
one. Yes.
I would
That is,
say
like,
call
the
for help.
general- That's kind of, now that I understand that even more, then absolutely that is what I would tell the party. that I would suggest to everybody. is, like,
So there is
should-
a secret option 4 that in
basically that
the
it's
bounty
option
hunter
3.
assassin that is coming after Ibrin has Irini, but in a non kind of bad way, and they are offering us assistance because you know this Tabaxi, and
Well, his
we
connections to
No,
the
so it's
Tabaxi are not clear, if there's any at all. It might just be that the Tabaxi, there's a reason for why he's contacting Big Tune, but it is not. You don't have any clarity as to what their connection is.
right.
Same thing with Big Tune. I don't think Big Tune would recognize this person by voice if they've ever met them in the past.
No, yeah, I mean,
It just sounds very Tabaxi in nature, and they requested that should they help, that they get to have a conversation minimally with Ibrin, and should the conversation go a certain way, well, you never know.
Ibrin may no longer be with us.
I would say probably almost before Big Tune gets to finish what he's saying. Obviously, the message is conveyed. I'd say call for help. Mentally, obviously,
Like-
not physically.
I agree, because if if Big Tune understands correctly, then this will get us out of this jam now into a slightly less of a jam, just kind of kicking the can down the road, but down the side road, not the freeway. So that is what it's basically option 3, but option 3.5.
This is option 4.
Option 4.
So I guess if everybody is in agreement with that, then I will indeed attempt
Oh, should we
to roar.
just say option 2,
Well, I mean-
let her unfreeze us, then roar?
No,
We're still
No,
talking in your
dude.
mind. So
Alright.
within our psychic connection, I say after you finish this blurb, Big Tune, I
Uh-huh.
go, I'm like, okay, if this is a better option than 2, Kitty, I'm gonna start yelling at you, and you just belt one out, I guess, bud.
And are you confident enough that this isn't Hedrun?
I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's a backseat to me.
Her power is split. I can cast both Aethros and I casted magic against her. She's not.
She even said that she's weaker than could be right now, so I have every reason to believe that this dude, this person will get us out of it.
So yeah, we're in our head, yeah, and in my babbling, yeah, I know, for the win. My babbling changes, and I turn my head to Big Tune, and I go, Big Tune Strong Shield, you give this lady an answer right now.
And
Mentally, I'm gonna be like, roar.
Hang on. I would like to. Maybe can I would like to try to give the most impressive roar that I've ever given in my.
I have no way to guide you, but if I could touch you, I would.
Can I give him
been-
advantage because I'm still mentally connected with him?
You've been
Motivating him?
Given your conversation that you've been mumbling with this other individual and the amount of like knowing that this is going to be like your signal, I feel like you've been like mentally prepping yourself for like this moment. I will give you advantage on your performance check for this for this majestic roar you want to do.
Growling.
Advantage and advantage and plus 10.
Yeah, advantage plus 48, just like. All right.
I can't. Neither Ben and I can. Yes, let's fucking go.
Oh, that's good enough.
Okay, I want you to describe your beautiful roar for me. You passed my check, but like, how would
Yeah.
you describe this? Your playing out here. Like Ono is yelling at you. You give this lady an answer.
Like anime
Think
style.
like the old MGM Tiger, like before like Looney Tunes, but like more.
More.
Okay.
Just like the most like soundboard-esque, like just, you know, it just sounds like it was always something in there that I can't always access.
The lion
The
comes
biggest
out of the
roar you've done, echoing through the caves or wherever we are.
You're on a summit right now.
Summit,
Okay. So,
causing avalanches with how mighty your roar is.
you hear Ono like yell at you, his tone of voice shifting entirely, and you let out this amazing like this, you know, the power inside you didn't know you had, or at least if you thought you had, you didn't have the confidence to let it out until right now. And it resonates and like echoes throughout this summit, very, very loud. Like if people could cover their ears, they probably would have wanted to, other than the wind whipping around and probably causing people to have a headache. But it echoes repeatedly, like throughout this area for a moment, and there's almost like an eerie silence afterward. For a brief period, you wonder, fuck, was this person legit?
Yeah.
Hedrun looks to you directly, Big Tune, and she's what you hear her say is, Oh dear, that doesn't answer the question. And all of you would hear a very familiar sound. The sound of essentially the beam that Arini can fire, firing off in the distance. You can't see where your heads can't turn that far.
Let's go.
You see, before this beam arrives, almost as if a ethereal curtain opens up, this tabaxi-like figure, gray snow leopard in appearance, wearing its wide-brimmed red hat and a lute strung upon its back. Miras, you would recognize this tabaxi as Kanit, the one who had saved you previously. You see, between the beam being fired and before it gets here, he appears out of this ethereal curtain. You see his right hand seems to be mechanical in nature. I want, because all of this is happening in a very, very quick period of time, I would say the two people who would be closest to him would be, I'd say anybody who wants to. If you want to roll a perception check, you can. Those of you who are on the ship, so it would be Ono, Big Tune, and Ebrin. Was it you three?
Yeah.
For this instance here, you could have advantage, but Ono rolled a crit, so I really doubt he's going to roll higher than that.
Double crit.
No, look, let me double crit. Look, what's up? Let's go.
Okay. So all of you would see a mechanical-looking arm, silver, like not silver, like a gunmetal gray in color. Easy enough to distinguish from his actual body. You see two purple, almost like vials, extending off of the side of his arm. As he pushes, like he has one arm that he pushes forward. The mechanical arm you see kind of breaks open into that of like a shield. Four distinctive like blades off of that shield. He pushes his arm forward and they project outward. You see from both of the vials the liquid drain down into the arm, and a small sliver of purple outreach into the blades themselves, activating several runes that are on the shield itself. Hedrun has but a brief instance to look at this figure who appeared out of nowhere, and then the beam hits. And usually you're used to the beam piercing through its structure and continuing to go off into the distance, allowing you to hear where it impacts later on. It impacts here. So you see the beam itself hit Hedrun somewhere on like her left side, and the beam impacts and hits the ground. A large pillar of light rises into the air. It's completely engulfing her form. All of you being within what would be the residual impact zone, you see this shield seems to any of the force and any of the mist and any of the heat after effects from this beam itself seem to be negated around the party as it is pushed around this shield itself. As the impact itself ends, and it's just a flaming pillar of like some form of light where Hedrun is. This figure wastes no time. His shield retracts, and he pulls from his bag. It would be two small pouches. Three small pouches. He looks to the party, and he begins throwing what looks to be some form of powder out of these pouches, and he blows it towards each of you as as quickly as he can, taking up the ability, being able to blow it at two of you at a time. You watch as this powder forms into like a purple arcane smoke that engulfs each of your figures, and you feel your bodies once again return feeling to your arms and legs. Whatever powder this is, it seems to be able to reverse petrification. He looks to you, Big Tune, and gives you an affirmative nod. I appreciate your support, but we don't have time to talk now. We need to get out of here. As he would move forward and undo Miras himself. It would be so he'd get everybody of the five of you, and he would look to, I think it would be Big Tune. I only have enough for one more person. You need to choose. Do you want the gnome or the not gnome, the goblin or the woman. I only have enough
The
for one.
woman.
Wait. What? So I'm effectively choosing one of them to die.
I will take the other one with us. I just can't undo it right now.
We need to.
Okay.
No, if that's the case.
Give me my homie spit.
I was gonna say, keeping Matra frozen for a little bit ain't the end of the world.
Right.
Got some explaining to do.
Yeah, Maker's got some explaining, but she's also a magic user, but spits aces. Yeah, spit. We need spit. Get spit. We need
Give me
spit.
my homie spit.
You would feel behind you a rumbling as the serpent begins to rise, now taking in what has happened here. You see him spend the rest of the second bag of powder to begin thawing spit, and you see Spit's form once again return from that frozen ice to that of his goblin figure, and he doesn't have an arrow cocked or anything, but you see his bow let go of the tension that it had, and he kind of falls to his knees for a moment, being frozen, petrified for so long.
We're free though, right?
You are all free to move right now. There is a pillar of energy.
Wild fling firebolts in this chick's direction. I just wildfire. As soon as I'm free, I'm just devil may care. Firebolt.
Don't you have that fireball
Wherever-
scroll?
I have a fireball scroll, but no, I've transcribed it. I've
No.
I've
It's in
already.
his spellbook now.
Yeah.
Wherever the blast came from, I'm already running and dashing that way.
Oh, I'm following. I'm just fireball.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hedrun, your way.
Fireball. Yeah.
As the party begins to take off, you'd see Ono's firing off just bolts of fire into the pillar itself. You see the silhouette with the with what looks to be one side of the antlers beginning to take a few steps forward, and you would see this figure extend his mechanical palm, and he would touch the frozen image of Matra, and you see it almost get absorbed into his arm. A small circle just below one of the fan blades of that shield glows a blue color. I have a place we can talk, but we cannot talk here. And he would begin running with the party itself. But before he gets too far, you see Hedrun appearing out of this pillar of light. Her body right now, she would have both of her legs, but the majority of her torso seems to be missing, along with a large portion of her head, one of her arms, and then a half of the circle of antlers. And she looks to the group leaving. Where do you think you're going? And the figure, the tabaxi, would grab something else from the side of his pouch. Oh, I think we're going to leave. And he throws this small bead at Hedrun. Her being in her injured state, she's not really able to dodge out of the way, and you see she gets engulfed in this 10 foot in diameter bead of solid, some form of solid. What do you want to call it? Some form of solid substance. She looks to the serpent, and without really having to say anything, you see the serpent make eye contact with the tabaxi, who's probably the last member of the party, as he's trying to make sure you all get away. And you see it take off towards him, but he's prepared. And one more pouch you see him pull from his side, as this one has a green hue about it. He throws this powder up into the air and blows it towards the serpent. You see the serpent's eyes. He gets within probably 5 feet of the tabaxi. Its jaw fully agape, and it pauses. You see its eyes change from that translucent aqua blue to a green color, and you hear him utter the words, "Protect your master. Get her out of here. It is not safe." And without much hesitation, you see it turn around towards Hedrun, its jaw fully agape, and it rushes forward, grabbing onto this large sphere that it can fit within its maw, and it takes off down the other side of the mountain, with Hedrun fighting it every step of the way, telling it to turn around and to drop her. And you hear her uttering that until she disappears off the edge of the cliffside.
Aiming fire bolts at her friggin' headdress, like wildly, like.
As your firebolts hit the side of the sphere, they seem to bounce off. This object seems to keep impacts from exiting and entering the sphere.
I just want her to know that I am not a gnome to be trifled with.
And she disappears off the side of the cavern. You see that the snake or the serpent makes no tracks as it trenches through the snow. To track it, you would have to have visual eye contact or focusing on a magical presence. It leaves no trail behind it, similar to a pass without a trace spell.
Oh.
As all of you begin climbing up this like small hillside on this summit, you would find Irini, who seems a bit worse for wear. Her wounds that she seems to have aren't very recent, but they seem to be like something that might... You don't know where their origins are from, but in the amount of time that might have passed, it's hard to gauge whether they were recent or not. I realize I probably contradicted myself there. It's hard to tell if her wounds are recent or not, but she's awake. She's conscious. She's not frozen. She's.
I rush up to with what little bandages and salves I have. No words. I just start treating whatever wounds that she has.
Thank you. I'm just glad my family's safe.
I'm fighting tears right now.
And Spit would like run up and like give her a hug, now being able to like mostly walk, or move normally again. Sorry, I wasn't there. I was able to find my way out of it.
Please don't say sorry. Please don't say sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. Please don't say sorry.
Are you all okay?
I like hug her leg and Spit at the same time.
I would say we're relatively okay, but another thing to take care of with our new savior, friend, hunter, something.
I steel myself and raise my crossbow bolt at this Tabaxi character. And thank you. But you are potentially an issue with my family.
Listen,
I would put myself in front of the bow and be like, that's I appreciate the gesture, but we're on a losing side here. It's just best to let him talk.
This is the lesser of two evils. I will tell you that right now. Oh no, I made clear, the ramifications and the necessities of how this goes, and he did his best to assuade me into believing that this should not have to end poorly.
Well, and it's something I was okay with instantly, so
Yeah, I compared this to Tabaxi knowing that like all of us have like no hit points. I slowly lower my crossbow, and you watch as like a violent firebolt dissipates.
Thank you for lowering your weapon. Your
Thank you
friend,
for saving our family.
your friend is correct. He and I made an agreement. Should you need my assistance, and like he would look at Irini, and I'm seeing now that is the power that you meant, and not her being that of someone who is of musical inclination.
The broken are not to be trifled with.
I made that very clear.
I know, and I don't want this to end badly for anybody. And he would look at Miris. Miris, it is good to see you again. I'm glad you found a group that you could possibly call home for the time being.
Yeah, it's great to see you too.
Wasn't expecting to see you so soon, or anywhere over here, but alas, here we are.
Casually apologize to Miris. I'm like, hey, if she's your friend, I'm sorry I pointed my weapon at him. Sorry.
I don't know about all of you, but this place feels a bit cold. would you like to talk about what I need to do? Somewhere
Oh.
a bit warmer.
Prestidigitate everybody warm. Sorry, I didn't. It's been a crazy. I don't know how long. Yeah. Prestidigitate. Press. Yeah, but if you got a warmer place, mine only lasts for like an hour.
I can provide us with decent temperatures while we have our conversation. And he would, he has a small scroll that he would open. And as he opens it, he utters an incantation, and you see before you a doorway open. It'd be like a 6 foot by 6 foot square.
I want to make sure the last person walks through that door.
I promise you, we can leave here at any time. I'm not taking prisoners. I don't want anybody to die if they don't have to.
As soon as he opens the doorway, I walk through. Like, he doesn't get to finish explaining. I'm just going through.
Yeah, it feels like 100% Ebrin. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's a classic response.
yeah, 100%.
Well, I've already calculated what might happen. I might die. Everybody's back with Arini and the party. Matrix still the cube, but we just need to get to the bottom of this. So my guy's just full throttle. Wait, that's a black hole. Well, he's dead anyway now. So
It's not a black hole. Yeah, if everybody walks through and like I'm the last one and it's just me and him, I like look at him and I go, currently, not a big fan of you. I do like all of your toys. That's all I'm gonna say about this.
I
I walk
understand.
through the portal.
And anybody who walks into the room, you see that this it's very different from what you were probably expecting. What you see before you is honestly a lot of like it appears to be there's like on the far end there's like a chair, some runes that kind of run along the sides of the walls. This room itself is probably like I would say a total of 20 feet by 20 feet. It's a form of like demiplane of sorts, but the temperature inside is like 65, 70 degrees.
Can I make an architecture check?
Yeah, go for it. What are you trying to discern?
I feel like Ono would know what this spell could very well be, or at least rudimentary. And I just blurt out, "Is this like a hut? Odaluke's hut, or not Odaluke? No, not Mordekainen, because he has an awesome mansion, right? Is this in the same vein?"
It's similar, but more personalized to me. This is a form of demiplane. It is where I generally store things, or if I need to have a conversation with individuals, as I do with your friend here, it allows me to do so without anybody else seeing, and I have full control on whether or not I can lock a person in here or let everybody leave. But I can assure you, should you want to leave, you are more than welcome.
Can I make a perception check on specifically his hands?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Just for
can I just?
my own
Go ahead.
curiosity. Wow. Back to back.
What are the chances of that? Ebrin, you were gonna do something?
I'm looking, and I'll tell you right now. Is he Rakshasa?
Insight,
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
insight check.
Yeah. Are you just you're discerning, the honesty behind his words?
Well, not only honesty, like how much risk versus reward my life's at here, essentially.
Weighing the art. Whoa, that was almost a 20, bro.
That was close.
Ooh, that was so close.
You feel that there is really honesty behind his words, that he really doesn't want to have any unnecessary conflict, but whether like the weight of your life in this instance is hard
Bouncing
to
at 1 HP.
yeah, it's hard to gauge. Like you don't know truly what the conversation might be. You're not quite sure how deep things will go, but you do know that at the very least, if you wanted to walk out of there, you could.
I'd say let's let the party rest up. And is this a private conversation or is this a conversation in front of everybody?
Well, truly, I would like it to be more discreet, but I did invite all of you in here. I would say the two people that I would truly like to talk to, or at the very least, besides you, the one person who I feel could give me a very strong insight into the situations that have happened since you have made your appearance known here on Vas'Kai. And she would look over to Big Toon, would be the member of the Strong Shield clan. And you see that as he says that to you, Big Toon, he like takes off his hat and kind of gives you a brief bow. I am sorry to hear about what happened to your clan.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but at this point, it is what it is. I appreciate your help now, but I was honestly kind of hoping you might be able to help us down the road here. I know you helped us in that moment, but I was kind of hoping you might be able to help us when we decide to really go after her.
Also, not to jump subjects here, but I don't know your name personally, sorry, but we've been formally introduced. I'm Ono too. Pleasure. Side note, aren't you tracking Ebrin?
I am. I feel we should probably discuss this matter first, as, well, it has the highest level of repercussions should things not go the way we would like them to. Let me give you a... and like he looks at Bacon and is like, we'll discuss what happens next, soon here. He looks at everybody in the party. Allow me to give you a brief introduction as to who I am. I am Knit. I am the 2nd Lieutenant of the Plain Guard. I am also a member of Wayard's Bounty, and sometimes, though I'm not a member, I do work for the Huntsman. We're sort of a triangle of organizations that work pretty closely together. But as a lieutenant, one of my main concerns is any anomalies that come through the material plane. And you would look at Ebrin. And in this situation, the anomaly is your friend here, the elf. Ebrin, was it?
That'd be correct.
Watch your tone. He's not an anomaly.
I'd kind of gesture towards Ona and be like, I appreciate the fire in your eyes, my friend, but I think right now it's cooler heads need to prevail, and that is one thing you strive at.
Oh no, I'm very calm, cool, and collected, Ebrin. I believe that your appearance is not an anomaly, but it falls in line with the prophecy. So how dare you assume that Ebrin is an anomaly?
Let me explain to you what I mean by anomaly before we get defensive, if that's okay. One of the roles of the Plain Guard is to monitor any being who has an arcane signature that comes through any of the gateways into the material plane. When I say this, I don't mean that your friend here is out of the norm of other elves or that he needs to be disposed of. I merely mean that anything that we don't have a registered signature on, we have to verify, and should things go sour, we have to dispose of. But given that he is a sentient being, given that he is someone who you can have a conversation with, and who, well, is venturing with a group such as yours, I do feel that this situation can be resolved in a conversation versus a confrontation. I don't want anybody to die here, truly, but I do have to ask a series of questions that must be answered honestly.
Are there like
engage the threat.
Chairs, a fireplace, stuff like that?
There's not a fireplace. The temperature itself is warm enough without one, but there are chairs in this room.
I would sit down next to him and be like, I'm gonna have to repeat everything to them anyway. If you could just ask in front of everybody, and let's make it easier on everyone. And I would gesture to everybody to just take a seat and relax.
I abstain.
Like, this is not the side of you you've guys seen before, but I realize the seriousness of the situation and how outclassed we are. So
I feel like this is the one moment where we are now where we mirror. This is the mirror, the darker mirror, because now I am being very upstationed. Oh my god, I can't even speak, guys. Yeah, I'm abstaining.
You and I have flipped roles, the opposite sides of the coin.
I'm gonna like stand, and I'm gonna like very aggressively like look at this character, this Tabaxi character, because there's a dichotomy right now. Because yeah, it's like, yeah, you helped us, you helped my family, but we, yes, answers need to be had. We need to have answers, but I'm not sitting, and I'm very much like in a defensive, with what little magic I have left, just at the full tilt ready. And on the side of my cheek, I look over at Aethros and I go, all right, so I'm pretty sure it might be a Lehman's light, like tiny hut situation, maybe, or maybe
Yeah.
more. I don't know. Maybe
Something like that.
something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
We'll get one eventually.
Yes. Same thought process. But yeah, and then I go back to evilly glaring at this Tabaxi character.
Ibram,
I'd kind of stick my hand out and formally introduce myself to him. Whether pleasantry is presume positive or negative, you know, son of Aroth, Ibram, Adorius.
Eldorius and Neroth. You are quite the combination, aren't you?
So I have been told.
Well, I don't feel a need to go through the histories right now as to what happened to both of these groups of people. But if you're good answering my questions, I promise this won't take very long, but I do require an honest answer.
I can do the best of my ability. My only end up going down a darker road to keep everybody else.
This is something that I need to guarantee. So if you are okay with it, I would like to subject you to a spell known as the Zone of Truth.
I kind of look over at Aethros and be like, we're familiar with that, so that is acceptable.
As he would cast the spell around your area, would you willingly fail the save to only tell the truth? If you succeed on the save, then the spell fails. So it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I'm not contesting anything.
Okay. So you, the figure you would feel like the spell, reach your person, and sort of like opening a door, you kind of just let it take hold. Ibram, my reason for being here and hunting you down is to make sure that you are not considered a wide threat to others. And when I say that, I do mean to the people who live in places such as 10 Towns and the general public. I'm not counting this against the encounter you had with, I believe her name was Hedrun, and the serpent, and the foes that you fight out in the wilds. Primarily for the greater good of the public. So when I ask these questions, I want you to keep that in mind.
Understandable. And to, I guess, answer the question, I would say directly I'm not a threat to here or of 10 Towns. I may have jumped the gun a few times myself, but my intentions are to find out. Well, my intentions were to find out my history's past, my parents' past, and locations of certain items and different things of the sort. Some of which have made themselves apparent already. But no, I don't cause any direct harm. If anything, due to, and I gesture to the party, everybody here, they've helped balance me more and have, we've done good so far in 10 Towns, helping people return different things and taking care of problems that, there's a bounty up there for things getting solved, but we need to make cash too, so.
Ibram, in your time on the material plane, this extending since the 7th of Cameran, have you willingly, at any point, held a person hostage or held their life against them in a manner that should not have been hostile?
I grip the spine of my spell book.
My guy
I-
kind of like opens his mouth a little bit, and you kind of see his tongue playing against his teeth, kind of like, huh. I will say that.
Because you know this spell. He does know this spell. He does not have to speak if he does not want to say the truth.
Correct.
I
But if
will
he speaks, he
say-
has to tell the truth if he speaks, yeah.
He just
will
can't tell a lie.
say-
Specifically, is what the spell
Yeah.
says, I think.
Yeah.
I will say that circumstances beforehand, when Hedrun took over Atina's body, allowing her to shape shift, I was under the impression that she was able to continue to shape shift, and with meeting a member of the party, and I will gesture to the frozen block of Matra, that Atina's body, or Hedrun, took over another form and was going to finish what she wanted to start. Because when she originally took over Atina's body, and I'll pull out the note that Atina gave me and like physically open it so he can read it, she was writing a message to me because my party thought it would be a fun joke to room us together as the two dark brooding people, you know, kind of a couples joke thing. And I may have not been in the best mindset still with Hedrun taking over Atina's body. She was able to partially freeze my face by just touching it, so when somebody says there's a relation or something like that, I may have jumped the gun there. And if you are willing to now unfreeze our party member, she could probably attest to how I've made strides to correct that and how I have apologized for that numerous times. Would I have actually taken her life? No. If it was Hedrun,
I mean,
yes.
I would have stopped him. I would have stopped him, and I would have healed her.
Unfortunately, I do not have the materials to thaw your friend. And he would like look down on his arm because he hasn't brought her out of that quite yet. I do not have the materials to bring her back quite yet, but once we find civilization again, I should be able to gather such resources.
Quick question: are we allowed possession of her in the meantime?
Do you have adequate way to transport her?
I mean,
Bag up holding, bag up holding.
I pick her up.
pop my
Yeah, I
collar.
can move her.
Like, I think I can manage.
He would, if you feel that you can, he would, like, somatically move his mechanical hand, and you would see, extending out from his palm, from this, like, small gem that's inlaid in his palm, the form of Matra, once again reappearing. Like, she's, like, ready to cast the spell, but she's, like, encased in ice, or made of ice. She would appear in the area. You don't see, like, because of the temperature, anything melting. This ice itself is definitely arcane in nature.
Dang, you can't keep her shrunk like that? Dang, I was hoping you were gonna keep her like capsule size or something. I was like, as soon as he pulled it out, I had the Perusian box. I was like, oh. Flark. Okay. No. We can work this out. And I grab the bag of holding and I go, I'm so sorry, Matra. And so wild. I open the bag and put it over top of her and then shimmy it down along her body and the ice. And as I hope it gets around her and then boop, boop, pop it over and then, all right.
Yeah, you would watch as the bag of holdings form, like, as if a snake is unhinging its jaw. It just, like, engulfs her form as you have to, like, jump up to, like, get it over her head.
The whole time, I'm like, I legit thought you were about to give us a capsule, was going to put this in the box. This would have been a smaller situation. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to do that.
That's fair. Cool. I still like your toys. Yeah. Yeah, and I just pop the bag over, and as soon as the magic takes the item, because at this point, Matra's an item, the bag returns to its normal size, and fling it back over and go, all right, not ideal, but,
While that escapade's going on, where I thought Hedrun took my blood, I'm gonna kind of like open up my chest and expose it, trying to see if like I can see any scarring or anything like that. And obviously, when I expose my body, there's literally like scars everywhere. You have further questions, I imagine?
Indeed I do. Ibrin, for you to be considered, are you naturally from this material plane of Vas'Kai, or are you naturally from somewhere else?
That's a complicated answer.
Where were you born?
I was born on this realm.
For you to be considered an anomaly, it would mean that you would had to have been older than about 2,000 years when the Plane Guard was originally formed. Is that true?
Yes.
1,000-year ballpark range, right? Ebron? Give or take, like 25 years?
Unfortunately not. It'd be further than that.
I mean, come on. That's now hold on. We're talking about like the entire extension of the multiverse and like the strands of the arcane weave whipping past time itself and Chronos. Like we're just come on. This is who has the actual do you have a measurement of time? In that degree? Could I see that?
I want to make sure I'm clear. We began tracking arcane signatures about 2,000 years ago. When we were formed under a branch of Waird's Bounty, which became its own organization shortly afterward, any arcane signatures that are found after that period of time are documented. Should they traverse from a different plane to this one, we don't see which plane they come from, we just see them enter ours. Your friend Ibrin here had entered this plane from somewhere else about 5 weeks ago, and I was sent to determine the threat level of this signature, not knowing his form and knowing what he was until, well, now, essentially, but I've been following this signature for the last few weeks since I have been here. Ibrin, in your time traveling with this party, have you ever felt a need to betray anybody you travel with?
No.
Have you ever attacked a bystanding individual in any of the towns you have traversed? A person
above table, I honestly don't remember. So my guy would be saying no.
Oh, this would have been like the moment Ona goes like, I mean, there was that one guard we kind of got into like a verbal disagreement. I mean, like, we're mincing words here.
In IRL, my guy has been through, in campaign and real life, has had a lot of head trauma. So I don't remember if we've actually got it into with a guard or not. So
I don't think you did.
I'm gonna say no because I physically can't remember in game or IRL.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be able to say that. I don't think you've actually had any altercations with like guards that escalated into like a physical conflict. You had verbal things with people right after you got the lightning tank, I think, but beyond that, I really don't think you have.
It's been mostly verbal threats and like braggadocious, like very aggressive braggadocious kind of like stature, but that's the extent of it.
That's just his demeanor.
Do you feel that being on this plane is truly for the greater good, or do you feel that it is for malicious purposes?
Can you elaborate your question?
When
like
I say
my intentions or the intentions that the plane itself is going through?
Your intentions. The reason you're here. I understand you are returning after a long period of time, and I understand that you are searching for items that are linked to your family's history from what you've told me previously. But I need to know, truly deep in your heart, your intentions for being on this plane, are they noble or malicious?
They would be noble. I can tell you what I'm looking for if you want.
There is no need, but I appreciate the thought. Do you feel that each and every member of your group, it sounds like with the exception of my acquaintance Miras here, since he is probably your newest member, could vouch for you being an overall decent human being, or I should say elven being?
I would feel so.
He would look to the rest of the group.
He also avoids making eye contact.
I definitely look at him and go and do like a. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's cool.
He would look to Ono.
My opinions on Aethros' actions are varied. I am a believer of chaos.
Ebrin's not Aethros.
Yeah, sorry. Ebrin, sorry. I'm confused. Sorry, there's a lot going on, man. Chill. Chill. Sorry, and I like palm Aethros' knee. Sorry. Why? Look. Ebrin has made several choices in the time that I've known him that are not to my liking, but they have turned in interesting ways. I do believe that Ebrin is not a man who is corrupt, but a man seeking some form of redemption. So yes, I trust Ebrin.
If it works telepathically, oh no, I know. Although I didn't roll with it, I imagine we're still 1 hour of time.
Yeah, you would still all
The
be
minimum for
telepathically
my
linked.
psionic link would work.
Yep, I would say that you are all still able to be telepathically linked.
I want to make a note that I am outside of the 15-foot truth zone of truth radius.
Yeah, he deliberately tried to. It's a little smaller than it was than the 15 feet. It's probably closer to about 10.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't necessarily have to be in it. The only person who really needed to be in it was Ebrin.
Yeah, headcanon, you and I are looking at each other, and I'm looking at you through a veil of arcane truth. And if you are about to psychically ask me a question, go right ahead.
Just no question. You just see my guy kind of like half smile, which my guy doesn't smile. I've answered a few questions here. I imagine you might have some more for me as well. Please continue.
You would, in that moment, see the Zone of Truth spell be dispelled. Ebrin, I don't think you're a threat to this plane. I think you might have you have your reasons for being here, and I feel that should things get out of hand, this party will be able to keep you in line. You all seem like decent people, so I would like to apologize for the hostilities that you might have heard or seen. I've been tracking you for a little while. And I think the earliest we saw each other was at East Haven.
Okay.
But I've been tracking you since your first encounter in Bryn Shander. Albeit a bit slow. The devices we have to follow arcane signatures aren't always exact, so when people move around, it's hard to keep an eye on you sometimes. I don't need to worry about that anymore. I don't think so, anyway. So allow me to rekindle, like I said, any hostilities that I had. I do sincerely apologize for anything bad that probably could have came from this. It's definitely, well, a hard situation. Should you have said anything about harming the individuals here in 10 Towns or anywhere else, disregarding the instance you had that you elaborated on early on with apparently the woman here, I don't think you pose a threat to the greater good of people. I think we can talk this out as you are a viable person to allow to stay on this plane. And
Well, continue. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off.
I want to thank you for answering my questions. I don't usually get off this easy. Usually it's a demon or a devil that we have to subdue, who's trying to, well, do their thing. But it's nice to have a change where I don't have to draw my bow or force you back to a different plane. And you feel the tension in his demeanor and his voice and his fur seem to lower. His fur might have been standing a little bit on end before on the arm that isn't mechanical, and it seems to have fallen down to its natural state.
Slightly raised, now it's just relaxed.
Now it's more so relaxed. Like I said, I didn't want things to end badly. I would rather see you all survive, especially with this ongoing threat, which is something we have to discuss. But for now, this will last a long time, this location here, before we have to forcibly exit. But it's long enough for you all to be able to take a breather. So, if you're okay with that, I give you the freedom here to be able to recuperate and recover. We have more we need to discuss, but I think it would be better if everybody was back to full standing before we do. How does that sound?
There's questions I have myself.
Yes.
No harm, no foul, so we did receive a note that someone was looking for me, but intentions weren't shared, but...
Scram sacks, right?
That's correct. Does he work with you guys at all?
I myself have never directly worked with him. I spend most of my focus south of the spine of the world. But I chose this mission myself to come on, so it was my first time being here in 10 Towns. And unfortunately, I feel as though, like all of you, I am also trapped here. The barrier of this spell is going to keep me from being able to leave directly, as well as call in for reinforcements. But I would rather have that conversation after all of you have recovered. You all look very worse for wear. Almost feeling as though you're on death's door. Why don't we...
Well,
I will still be here for you to answer questions, but I think you all need a rest.
I'll just say one thing and then let's hit the hay.
So confidently.
So, if you ever need assistance, don't hesitate to call on us as well.
We're not handing out calling cards right now, and all of us between, I think the majority of us have enough life of an 8-year-old little boy.
I ain't saying right now, dude, but would you rather still be petrified and under Hedrun's control, or owing a favor to somebody of his caliber?
That's a conversation over a pipe and a beer later we can have. Can I real quick?
Yeah.
Ono, I feel like Ono should be somewhat familiar with Plainsguard.
Yeah.
I'm from Sigil, so...
Right, so you would be... Your presence was... So, the presence that you probably had with the Plainsguard would have been a moderately long time ago. You would recognize general procedures for how the Plainsguard handles things, so they would have had a confrontation with you and anybody else initially from Sigil.
We're dealing
as you crossed over.
We're dealing with a cop. Yeah, we're dealing with Novacor. Yeah. I guess my thing is, Ono's thing is, if he tracked Ebron as an anomaly, why didn't he track the Thousand Hands as an anomaly?
How long has the Thousand Hands been around?
That's fair. I did not give you a discerning answer. I would have honestly said maybe several months at the longest. At the shortest, maybe even a month's time, a week's time. It literally honestly, I don't even know if they're still here, because it's more of a situation of okay, Ono, time to get off the train, and Ono was here.
the plains guard at some point, the moment, like within a brief period of time of them crossing into the material plane, someone would have had to have a conversation with the plane guard. If it's a lot of people who originated from Sigil and not just visiting Sigil, joined up with 1,000 Hands and came back, there would have been, you probably would have had like a stop, whether or not you knew it as such, where they had conversations with the plane guard.
Right, like we walked through a checkpoint and everybody in the caravan was like, "All right, cool. Here's credentials, this, that, and the third." Okay,
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. So,
And then after that, your travels wouldn't trigger their need to investigate because of the information they had from you already.
totally fair. I was thinking just more along the lines of like, Ebert and I being in the same group.
Right. Yeah.
That's-
No. The timelines were different.
Okay, cool. That's all. Yeah. Cool. I love Nova Corps. I mean, Plains Guard. Yes.
We are an interesting group of people, and if you want questions answered about what we do as a whole, I'm more than willing to answer them. But like I said, I want you all to take a break. I can tell you've been through quite a bit in the last while. I mean, I don't think you know. Since my last tracking of you, a week has passed. You've been encased in ice for a long time.
Not cool, dude. Don't.
It's worth you all knowing.
Come on, man. That's. I am thoroughly upset at this ice witch. And I like look at Big Toon and I make eye contact with Big Toon and do like that, like finger point that like Ken and Ryu would do at each other, or like, Double Dragon style, and be like, "We're gonna get this chick." Yeah.
As the party continues their conversation with Kneat, the Plains Guard warrior who has been tracking Big Toon, and is finally able to take a decent break in temperatures that aren't uncomfortable, I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh my god, such a great game.
I'm gonna just do the long rest now. That way we don't have to do that right away next time.
That's fair. If you want to do your long rest now, you all will also level up. You are now level
Boom!
5.
Oh,
Yeah.
Could we do that right now?
I would say, for the sake of, because I gotta get going, if you can edit your stuff right now, you're more than welcome to add it. I don't know if I have to be on for you to add anything to your character sheet because of how the Forge works,
Level 5.
but you
Might
should be able to access it.
for it to be saved, but it may save, I guess, while we're all still active in here.
I would say just any of the changes you make, just make note of them in your notes or something, just in case.
Yeah, I'll probably, because it's probably
because like for a lot of you, it should just be you get extra attack and like an extra die of HP, or if you want to take the average. For anybody who wants to stay on here, like I'll leave Foundry open if you want for now, and then I'll just like come back and remove it later. I'll probably like remove myself from it from like at like 10 o'clock. Give you some time to like look at things and add things to your sheet that you might need. But many of you'll have spells to look at. Like Miris, you should be getting access to 3rd level spells now. So it's really good to look at like the D&D Wikidot, and like honestly, if other people are going to be editing their stuff, just because I gotta get going, if Ian has questions, I hope that you guys will help answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Anybody who's
I
on
can't,
anyway.
but-
Yeah, I know you. Between both having a child and also being a fighter, some of the stuff that he might have
yeah,
questions
I
on, you
just
might
don't
not be able to.
physically know.
I just have to choose whether or not I'm taking my 3rd level in Wizard or Artificer. But I mean, I know I have a path, so it's okay.
Right.
But
And then, like, if people have questions for me, just send them to me through Discord, and I'll try to get to it throughout the week. Whether it's, like, adding abilities that aren't in here, like from Tasha's or Xanathar's, or if it's spells that need to be added or anything, just let me know, and I'll go through and try to add them before next session.
alrighty.
I'm gonna again say this, Dakota. Fucking phenomenal game, dude.